Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Kenyon Hackworth back again. Make sure, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and all the good stuff. Because I want to grow this channel because I want everybody to have this information. Listen, the stock market is the greatest wealth building tool that can be utilized by anybody. A couple of reasons why people don't invest. Number one is they think it's too complex. So the objective for me is to try and simplify it as much as possible through this channel. I believe in simplicity. Simplicity, sometimes less is more. Another reason people don't invest is because they think it's gambling. Now, the stock market can be used as and is pushed by some people as a gambling type atmosphere, but it's also a place where you can buy into good businesses. Everybody is not going to be an entrepreneur. Everybody is not going to start a business from scratch and build it up to some big conglomerate. But what you do have the ability to do in the stock market is you have the ability to buy ownership in already established publicly traded companies that you can own, that you don't have to do any work in, and that is run by good management. People that we as shareholders, the shareholders own the company. So you become a shareholder, you own the part of the company. And these CEOs work for you. Also, another reason people don't invest is because they think they need a lot of money. They think they have to have a lot of money to invest, so they don't start. So that's why I created this video today, how to invest and build wealth on just $100 a month. All right. So now I'm all about longevity. Right now, there's a lot of volatility in the market. People get scared. People feel like they need to jump out of the market. So I'm going to show you that what really matters is the long-term results. Now, the $100 that I'll show you invested, it was invested in November. So I'm going to show you that's from my daughter's custodial account. Now, I'm a big student, if you will, of many investors, but specifically Warren Buffett. And he bought his first stock. He always said he bought his first stock when he was 11. So for myself, I wanted to top that for my daughters. So when they were 9, 7, and 4 years old, we opened up a custodial account and then began to fund that particular account and then buy individual equities. Now, a lot of people will start off and say everybody starts off with index funds or ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. But I don't invest in funds. I haven't had an index fund or ETF or a mutual fund for 9 years. My daughter's account, they've never had an index fund. They've never had an ETF. They've never had a mutual fund. We only invest in individual businesses. So first thing I guess I need to do is just show you some of the results that they've received or that I've achieved over the lifetime of their account. So if you look at their custodial account, so the first column there is the 3-year time frame from March 5th, 2022 to March 5th, 2025. So their account has grown an average of 21.65% per year compared to the index of 12.21%. Now, I don't care about year to date or 1 year. That's a short time frame for me. I never concern myself with short time frames because the stock market can do anything in a short time frame. But the 5-year rate of return is 19.41% compared to 15.87% of the index. And over the life of their account, which was opened in 2018, they've averaged 21.1% rate of return during that time frame compared to 17.75% from the index. One of the best things that happened in 2020 was when they allowed fractional shares. Fractional shares means you have the ability to invest in a company without having to purchase a full share. So when you invest $100, you don't have to look around and be like, I can only find a stock that's less than $100. You can buy shares of different companies. And to me, it leveled the playing field so much that it made it so much easier because you could spread your money around at one point in time. So I look at it like, even if I'm wrong, I'm really not going to be wrong. There's no way that I'm going to pick a bunch of terrible, terrible companies. That's just my opinion. Now, personally, for myself, the same time frame, This is what I call financial freedom plus a Roth account. Financial freedom account is a regular brokerage account. So the time frame, 3-year time frame, the rate of return is 23.2% compared to the same 12% for the index. Year to date, I'm down, of course, a lot more than the index. So I wouldn't say a lot more, but 7% compared to negative 4 or 5%. 1 year, of course, I don't care about year to date. I don't care about 1 year. The short time frame does not concern me. As I learned from studying Warren Buffett, there's nothing magical about a 1-year performance. There's also nothing detrimental per se about a 1-year performance. Well, let me rephrase that. It depends on what you're doing. If you're trading stocks and if you're trying to take these extreme risks, it can be detrimental. It can wipe you out. But if you're owning good businesses and the stock prices go down over the course of a year, that can happen. So my 5-year rate of return is 25.74%. That's 25% on average per year for the last 5 years. And then from 2016, that's now going on 9 years, 22.79% compared to 14.4% for the index. So that is really good returns for me owning individual companies. And I don't fear, I used to, because I listened to the people who said, oh, you can't buy a single stock, or look at what happened with everybody who retired from such and such company, or people who had all their money in one stock. But you're not buying a single stock. That's not what I'm talking about here. You will see in a second. It's about your ability to buy into really good companies and spread your money around. Also, if you look at some of the results over certain time periods, stocks don't just go up. If you look at here, this is my account from October 1st to 2018 to December 24th, 2018. My portfolio was down 24%, and the S&P, the market, was down 19%. So I was down more than the market at that particular point in time. If you look at 2020 during the midst of COVID, my portfolio and the market both were down 33%. 33%. Now, anybody could have panicked and jumped out, but that's not necessarily the best thing to do. And in 2022, from January 1st, 2022 to October 11th, now a lot of people say the new bull market started on October 12th of that year. So from January 1st to October 11th, my portfolio was down 32% compared to 23.7% of the index or the market. But I didn't care about that. I don't really care about that because to me, that's a shorter time period. And the stocks or the companies that I own were really good companies. As I said, it's all about how the businesses are doing, not just about what the stock is doing. So now we'll look at how this $100 was invested on November 20th, 2024. So I divided it amongst 7 companies. And because, like I said, you can buy fractional shares in most full service brokerages. If you are investing, make sure you have a brokerage account that allows fractional shares. Now I got to put this disclaimer in there first. I am not a financial advisor, so do not this is for educational and informational purposes only. So I wanted to say that. And always do your due diligence before purchasing anything and study and all that good stuff. And past performance is no guarantee of future results. I got to say that as well. But back to this. All right, so 11, 20, 24. And also you can't do anything just because somebody else on the internet did it. Right? Make sense? Okay. All right, so on 11, 20, 24, this was in my daughter's account. The $100 was divided almost equally because Charles Schwab does it for us. So between Meta, Eli Lilly, Nvidia, Broadcom, Apple, Amazon, Google, you see right next to the names the amount of shares or fractional shares that were purchased. If you look at Meta, that $14.27 was invested, about 0.0253 shares. The price of Meta on this date was $563 per share. Now, if fractional shares were not allowed, there is no way that they would be able to buy into Meta stock or Eli Lilly and most of these companies because of the price of the stock. But buying fractional shares allow you to spread your money amongst different companies to see how they grow. Now, I always go back just for fun to look at how these companies would have performed had they been bought earlier. So this example here is these same 7 companies bought in 2013. That's $100 and investing $100 per month, every single month, not missing a month, just investing into these companies since 2013. You see the third column there is the cash flow column. See, if you go down to 2013, you see $1,218, $1,237, $1,239. So you're investing $100 a month, which equals $1,200 per year. But also companies that pay dividends, those dividends are being reinvested back into the company that paid them. So by the time you get to 2024, you see that even though you're investing $100 a month or $1,200 a year, because of the dividends that have been growing and the companies raising their dividends and dividends being reinvested, now you're up to $1,600 a year of the cash flow that's being invested back into the company. But you can see the balance that grows. So by the end of February, because it goes through January, the balance would have been $328,000. Now, again, past performance is no guarantee future results. So that doesn't mean if you invest $100 a month into these companies that they're going to be $300,000+ 11 years from now. There's only one way to find out what they're going to be worth. That's just to own the businesses. I have no idea what it's going to be worth in the future, but they will continue to own these particular businesses. So you can see how money compounds. I always talk about compounding. Compound is time, dollars invested, and your compound annual growth rate. So the time here is roughly 13 years, 12 going into 13 years. Of this 13 years, you see you got 3 negative years and 10 years of positive returns. All the positive years were over 30%. So these are great businesses, great businesses. You're going to have these down years sometimes. So I also went and looked just for clarity purpose. I want to point out that these are the top 6 holdings right now in their custodial accounts. So I went and did the same thing where I looked at the top 6 holdings. So you can look at it. I'm only going to point out the 1 point for NVIDIA, so you can look at it and see how it's broken down. So NVIDIA, you see, is 19.185. That's the number of shares they own, 19.185 shares. The average cost per share is $20.27. You go over to the right, the $2,250.42. That's the value of their current holding. Below that, you see the same thing, the number of shares, 19.185. And you have the stock price of $117.30. That was the stock price as of 3/5, 3/4, whatever date I took this picture. And the $1,861, that's the amount that their NVIDIA shares have grown by. And you can go down the rest, you can look at it and see just how the stocks have grown over the course of the years. Broadcom has grown by $1,000. AbbVie was the second company I bought for them way back in 2019. So it's grown by $600. Eli Lilly is a 148-year-old company, but it is going through a growth spurt. So it's grown by $124. Now you can see with Eli Lilly and Netflix, the number of shares, they don't even own a full share yet. 0.92 shares of Eli Lilly, 0.74 shares of Netflix. But even without owning a full share, the money does not stop growing just because you don't own a full share. If all you can invest is $20 a month or $25 a month or $100 a month, then hey, that's so be it. And then the money continues to grow. So now what I looked at, I took these same 6 companies. Each one of them has, on this date, a minimum of $700 in each. So I took 700 times 6, the 6 companies, and of course that's $4,200. So I went and looked and said, okay, what would $4,200 be if I invested it in 2013? How much would it be worth today? January 2013, $4,200 invested almost equally amongst these companies. and just held for this amount of time, how much would it be worth today? It's amazing. You can see right here on the balance at the very top on the custodial account, the balance would be $457,000. Now, does that mean that their portfolio, that these same companies, is going to grow to $400,000 in the next 10, 12, 13, 14 years? No, absolutely not. I have no idea what it's going to grow into. I do know that they are great businesses, and I do know that as of today, I'm confident in knowing and saying that they will own these same businesses 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And these aren't the only 6 or 7. In fact, in their portfolio, they own 20 different stocks. And mine own 15 different stocks. I own 15 different, I'll say 15 different businesses. They own 20. All of them are working in aggregate together to help build a wealth that they don't have to do anything. They don't have to go to any meetings for any of these companies or anything like that. So I want to show you an example of just how, because of this wonderful power of compounding, how money can grow and how it can explode into exponential growth by owning good businesses. Everybody always talks about the downfall or the negative spot for buying individual stocks. But I've only owned individual stocks for 9 years. That's it. I don't own any funds at all. And my results are my results. The only thing that matters in investing is results. Like I said, I have no idea at what rate the money is going to compound going forward. But I do know that I own good businesses. And as long as the businesses remain good for myself, also for them growing up, they're going to have a jump start in life way, way, way ahead of what I did. Again, I didn't start investing until I was 33. So, I mean, they're starting way ahead of me. By the time they turn 33, they probably will already be millionaires by then. So, power of compounding. All right, so I hope this is information. Again, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you share this information so we can all build this wealth together. All right. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared out because of volatility and stock market momentum. You have to take the approach that these things happen. Stock prices go up, stock prices go down, and this happens. But great businesses, remember, the price of the stock will always grow to match the earnings growth of the business. If the business is not growing, no matter what the stock price does in the short term, it eventually is going to come back to match the business. If the stock prices are going down and the business is growing, eventually the stock price is going to match the business. So these volatility and these declining stock prices can create some tremendous buying opportunities. All right, until the next time, I will talk to you later. Subscribe, like, share. All right, have a great one.